west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back. Start make you live again, get them dividends, or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit, I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino, so what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical, guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid. Shit has gotten retarded since all the dominance of one west rising to prominent. Cause I be one west to the depth till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got group time for Uber. Rhymes hard like they've been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by black Impalas, let the semi holler. A showstopper, been a stopper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm going them off Patron and premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they eat songs, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, down the deep. And I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to ignite, I'm moving and coming through with the title because UP. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
Test 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. I just realized my drink matched my shirt.
Color coordination.
Got my drink and my shirt got the coordinate.
The fluids.
Got the coordinate.
Well, those are my favorite type of knives right there.
Karambit knives?
Yeah.
This is a training knife.
Okay.
So, we're not live yet, though. All right, that's what. Well, I ain't going to say it across the live, but.
I believe you. Your mic muted.
Nah, it ain't muted. But how I ended up coming across this, it's a training knife. So I carry a karambit knife, and I found this training knife somewhere special today that I went to, and they happen to have some real dope training knives. So I bought this. You know what I mean? Because spinning around, flip around with it. You know what I mean? Get used to handling a karambit without slicing your finger off or playing with it. Because I love just sitting there fidgeting with them. But, make people uncomfortable when you're sitting there spinning a razor sharp blade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this is an actual training knife.
You ever heard of the game, the video game Splinter Cell?
Oh, yeah.
That's the game that put me on them.
The karambit knife. I didn't know he used a karambit knife.
Oh, yeah. He didn't use it in the first two Splinter Cells, but the latest ones, the couple new ones. That's all he uses, ceramic knives.
See, what got me into karambit knives actually was when I first came into when I first got my Hebrew name. Because I used to carry knives all the time, and but when I came into the school and I was given my Hebrew name, not the Zagabar, what it stands for is what it means in English is Hawk Warrior.
Your name?
Yeah. So my name means Hawk Warrior. And so another name for karambit knife is a hawk bill knife. It's a hawk bill knife. They call it a hawk bill. And it's supposed to be symbolic of the claw on the hawk's talon.
Hawk, good your ass.
Yeah. So so that's really what got me into it, was just the name Hawk Warrior. And then I ended up buying me a karambit knife, and it's been the knife I carried ever since. But I guess we'll go ahead and start it up. Shalom. Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shabbarakatah, all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar, Lathabah, Shem, Yahweh Shah, to all the sisters. With the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohanan. What we teach is that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, according to the Bible, history, and archaeology. We are not affiliated with any other group. No, we're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. If it is not in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohanan, it is not of the Lord, and you are not in the truth. You understand? That goes for your Christian pastor. If you go to a Christian church, you do not follow our King Yahushua. You do not follow Christ. You understand? If you are in a fake Israelite group, meaning that if you are in a group that is not the ISUPK that started in 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, if you are not learning from the ISUPK under Commander General Yohanan, you are not in the truth. You understand? And I hate to say it, but it's the truth. You understand? I remember how it was when I first learned I was an Israelite. You understand? And I started meeting a lot of brothers who identified as Israelites, but they wasn't in no camp. You understand? They was Shabbat Shaloming. It was Shabbat Shaloming. You understand? Shaloming. You understand? And just like everybody else, I was sewing fringes on my t-shirt like a maniac. You understand? I remember I got the most embarrassing message ever about fringes on my shirt. I was a trooper in the school, and my dumb stupid self. I go to camp, first camp. I go out there reading the scriptures. I'm yelling at the top. Lost my voice halfway through camp. You know what I'm saying? Like, brothers. Listen, brothers in South Carolina don't know how easy they got it, man. Because listen, I'm gonna tell you something. When I started coming to camp, I came in at the foundation of the Atlanta camp. When I came in, Atlanta got the green light to go to camp. Because prior to that, they wasn't going to camp yet. They had their camp equipment. They was ready. They just didn't have enough men. They only had 3 brothers. When I came in, I became that fourth brother. And you know what that meant? That meant I read for everybody. I read for everybody. Big up to Officer Taza Odd. He cracked. He listen. When he get on your top, he'll make you want to cry or fight. You understand? Or take him to counsel. But he is a very brotherly brother. You understand? And and one of the things that he used to do is he used to pick up on the fact that, boy, this brother woe out. This brother about to pass out up there. Read for everybody. So he would step up and read. You understand? He would just take the scroll from me and start reading, give me a little break. And that's why even to this day, you understand, as even though I'm an officer of 1,000, and not to try to, boast myself like that means anything, because and it's true. I'm content being a trooper in the ISUPK. You understand? Because just to be amongst the body of Christ and to actually serve the men of the Lord is an honor in itself. I could care less what my rank is. You understand? I could care less if I'm a 500 or a 50. I could care less. If I'm here putting in the work and I'm not, and knowing that this is the work of the Lord, I am content. You understand? And but it's because of that brotherhood that I saw coming into the truth that I extend that same brotherhood. I've read for brothers as an officer of 1,000. You understand? I've noticed that brothers been reading for hours and hours, and I just like, man, let me get these brothers a break. And I take over and read for brothers that rank under me. You understand? Because at any given moment, you understand. I remember I saw an interview from Whack 100, and Whack 100 said something that was very profound to me. And what he said was, he was saying that, because I guess, in the blood gang, I guess they start off as like foot soldiers. And he said that at any moment, even though he's whatever his rank is in the Bloods, he said at any moment he can revert back to a foot soldier. Right. And so I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? At any moment, I should be willing to revert back to a trooper. You understand? So, so that means that as an officer of 1,000, I'm not above shining another brother's boots. You understand? I'm not above reading for another brother. You understand? And the reason why is because that's how all the brothers are in the UPK. Right. You understand? That's how everybody is. You understand? And that right there, to me, is worth dying for. You understand? Christ said, for this is how you'll know my disciples, by how they treat one another. You understand? And that to me was heavy. You understand? When Taza did that, because it might have meant nothing. It might have meant nothing to him. But as a trooper, I'm thinking, I'm nothing. I am nobody to y'all. Y'all are the men of the Lord. I'm just here reading for y'all, listening to y'all breakdowns. I am nobody. I am nothing. I'm the scum of the earth. I'm just, what I'm saying? Just nobody ever told me to shine boots. You understand? And I've heard stories about, man, shine these boots. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever made me shine boots. So as of now, I don't mind shining another brother's boots. You understand? Teaching me how to learn how to, shine my own boots. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, you understand? I say all that to say this, that you understand this brotherhood that we receive as troopers. You understand? Even as a trooper or as an officer, we have to remember to extend that same brotherhood to the men under us. You understand? Because we are not what's the word I'm looking for? Like, if you rank over a brother, we should not look at it as I'm over you. You understand? I'm your master. I'm your Lord. I'm your this. I'm your that. You understand? You should look at yourself as their servant. Because as a higher ranking brother, you serve the men under you just as they serve you. You understand? Because because think about it. Look what Yahushua did. Look what our king did. You understand? Our king came down and laid down the truth to us. And then he put his life on the line for us to make things right with the Most High. To bridge that gap between us and the Lord. That without that, like, imagine if Yahushua was weak. You understand? Imagine if our king was weak. we would have no chance. Right? If Yahushua would have felt weak, you understand, we wouldn't even have survived the transatlantic slave trade. Right. You understand? We wouldn't have survived. We'd like the scriptures say, till thou be destroyed. You understand? He said, no man shall save you. You understand? The Lord was done with us. Hey, Yahushua not did what he did. You understand? And then you think about Commander Journey Yohana. You understand? That brother, you see that picture right there? Where it say, I pray you understand? Commander Journey Yohana slept in this room on a cot to keep this school alive when all of these so-called fake Israelites left it to die. You understand? You fake Israelites, your leader left the truth to die. You understand? They left the truth to die, chasing after their woman, chasing after their lust, chasing after money, chasing after greed, chasing after power. You understand? That's what they did. They left the truth to die. Commander Journey Yohana held on. You understand? And I thought about that so many times, even in points when I felt weak and felt like I might leave the truth. I thought about Commander Journey Yohana. I thought about our King Yahushua. You understand? Well, he was facing far more grave things than I would ever face. He was facing being executed by the very people he was here to deliver. You understand? And that's heavy. You understand? That is heavy. And that is something that should not be taken lightly. And it should not be made a mockery of. And that's what these fake Israelites do. They make a mockery of the Lord. They make a mockery of the sacrifice of our King. You understand? They take it like a joke. And then look at us like we don't know what we talking about. We serve our King as good soldiers. You understand? Because that's what Christ said. He said to be a good soldier. You understand? A good soldier follows orders. Commander Journey Yohana was the highest ranking man in Israel when your leaders left the truth. You understand? If you wanted power, if you wanted to serve the Lord, why not just stay? If you say that you witnessed evil, then why leave because of some evil that you claim to have witnessed? Why? The scriptures say, how can Satan cast out Satan? So what righteousness do you think that you standing on by leaving what the Lord built? That means that you didn't love it enough. You understand? You didn't love it enough. You understand? Imagine a car. You understand? Matter of fact, we'll say a house. We'll look at a house, right? You know, you see a house and, you know, somebody might be living in it and, you know, they burning holes in the carpet. You understand? Letting the gutters fall off the house. They ain't cutting the grass, ain't planting no seeds, ain't watering the lawn, weeds growing everywhere. You understand? Don't care nothing about the property. You understand? But because you see how destroyed it is, you just leave. You understand? But then the one who stayed decided to clean it up, cut that grass, and lay down that weed killer, clean them gutters and rehang up them shutters. You understand? To redo the shingles on the roof. You understand? Now you sit here looking at a valuable property. You understand? That's the truth. And that's what happened when brothers left the truth. They left the truth to die. Right. You understand? And then went and thought that they could do better than they could build something better than what the Lord built. And the scriptures say, if it be of man, it shall come to naught. But if it be of the Lord, it shall not be torn down. You understand? And the UPK under Commander Journey Yohana, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you send our way, you will never bring down the house of the Lord. You will never bring it down. You understand? You will never destroy this house because this is the Lord's house. This is the Lord's portion on this earth. You understand? You want to come up against the Lord. Well, listen, look at what happened in Egypt. They came up against the Lord. You understand? Look at what happened with Rome, Greece, what else? Assyria, Babylon, Babel. Look what happened to all these empires. Where are they today?
History.
Where are they?
It's like history.
They're history. You understand? Now, what makes you think? Now, was America built by man or was it built by the Lord? It was built by man. So what does that mean?
Sooner or later, it's going to be history too.
I mean, sooner or later, it's going to be history too.
Right.
You understand? The 12 tribes are still standing strong. Even in our oppression, we still stand strong. Still stand dignified, even in the face of our oppression. You understand? And thank the Lord that He had mercy enough to send us this truth in His last days. Right. To raise up the 7 heads, to raise up Alpha Bivens and the 7 heads who went forth to teach Commander General Yohana, who held on to this truth after so many dark days. Could you imagine watching the thing you love the most in this earth just fall down to nothing, dwindle down to nothing? You understand? And the faith that it took to stand firm and rebuild it again. The scriptures say the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a mustard seed. It's the smallest of the seeds, but it's going to be the biggest tree in the garden. You understand? And that's why it's heavy that these fake Israelite groups, they underestimated the truth. They underestimated the Lord. You understand? You think about like when Moses when the Lord brought Moses and Israel out into the desert. Think about it like this. The Lord was about to wipe out all of Israel. And He told Moses, I'm going to build the kingdom off of you. Just you. And Moses had to plead with the Lord. And said, he told the Lord, said, Lord, if you do this, then all the nations, they just going to look and be like, what kind of God is this to lead them people out of Egypt just to let them die in the wilderness? You understand? And the Lord, he reflected on that and He changed His mind. You understand? That's what lets you know that the Lord is real. Like if the Lord wasn't real, then that's a realistic scenario. Because think about it, if this was a fairy tale, it wouldn't have had no situation like that. Where the God of the Bible was about to kill everybody and change His mind. You understand? That's not something that you could make up. Because think about every comic book you ever read. Think about every movie you ever watched. You understand? It don't play out like that in no movies. That's a real life scenario. You understand? Where the Lord was going to kill everybody and change His mind. You understand? Well, guess what? The same thought process that the Lord had with Israel back then, that's the same thought process the Lord had when brothers left the school. You understand? And I think the Lord, He did it because from Commander General Yohana built the most powerful Israelite group in the world. Salakia, scratch that. The most powerful group in the world. Because I'm going to tell you something. The wisdom in these generals in the UPK and the captains in the UPK is far beyond the wisdom of the United States government.
Right.
You understand? We didn't sat down and talk to politicians. They are dummies compared to the captains in the UPK. Like the wisdom that I get from talking on the phone with Captain Mashak, from Captain Ash, from Captain I thought, it's far surpassing the wisdom of the leaders of this world that are empowered in this world. And ain't no organization more powerful than the UPK. You understand? We didn't set Akaz, am I making this up?
No.
Have we not sat down and talked to politicians? Did we not sit in the mayor's office in downtown Greenville? The wisdom in the UPK far surpass. Listen, Commander General Hunt, I am honored and blessed to work closely with Commander General Hunt. And I'm gonna tell you something. Commander General Yohana is an apps is the most brilliant mind that I've ever had a conversation with. You understand? Commander General Yohana is so brilliant. You understand? And so skillful in what he does. You understand? That he would listen. There's a reason why certain Israelite groups have never debated the ISUPK. Listen, yeah. Here's the thing for all you Christians that want us to shut up. Right? We will not prove us wrong. Do that. Prove us wrong. That's all you gotta do. Prove us wrong. Prove that what we believe is a lie. Prove it. Do that. You can't. And you not. And listen, that's why your Christian pastor ain't picking up the phone and calling the UPK. That's why your Christian pastor ain't setting up no debate. Why? Listen, for all you Christian pastors out there, why not be the hero? You understand? If you out there in that wearing that purple, if you the truth, then your lowest ranking member should be able to defeat any of our generals in the debate. You understand? Why not be the hero? Why not be Judas Maccabees? You understand? Go ahead.
Man, I heard Commander General Yohana said one time he don't think it's a Christian pastor out there that can stand toe to toe with the truth.
Listen, and it's the truth. It's the truth. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I might have already said it in classes previously, but I'm not gonna put it out there. But I had a one-on-one debate with a high-ranking member of a fake Israelite group, a group that everybody loves. Everybody like to say, "Oh, them boys is this and that, this and that." Oh man, y'all da 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 da. Listen, I just passed my officer test. I had just passed it. Hadn't even spoken at camp yet. No, I take that back. I spoke at camp the day I passed my officer test. Got up there and fumbled the bag. You talking about bad camp speaking? Hey, listen. I thought I was gonna get kicked out the school as bad as my camp speaking was. Listen, I got up there and was like, what the scripture to say? Hey, I got up there and forgot everything. I didn't even know, because listen, I had studied so much for my officer test, I was brain dead the day I found out. And then I didn't even know I passed. I'm sitting there at camp. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how some brothers get raised up in class or the Sabbath service or something like that. I got raised up at camp. Yeah. And said, now he gonna speak. I'm like, I'm like, can I wait next week? You know what I'm saying? He was like, "La, go ahead. You got it." I got up there. I was like, hey, and then, listen, Doc. Listen. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Listen, sidebar, man. I remember it was like my second. I think it was my second camp speaking. I came prepared this time. Like, come on, I was prepared for camp this day. listen, I knew what scriptures I was gonna break down, and I done got I asked all the questions in General Muhammad class. He done broke them down for, and I understood everything I was about to break down. So I'm up there speaking, got to my last scripture, and was like da 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 da, and I said, and that's my name is Priest not talking about the Israelite School University Practical Knowledge. You know, da da da, shalom. Handed the mic off. Captain Radazai was like, did somebody give you the order? They come down off the podium. I was like, oh, la, sir. He said, so why you get down off the podium? I was like, oh, because I was done, sir. He's like, nah. You're not done. You don't come down. Just brother, tell you to come down. I was like, oh, damn, it's a light. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know what the hell was going on. You know, I was a dummy. Big, but ain't nobody ever broke it down to me. You know what I'm saying? It was I consider it my first time. You know what I'm saying? But my first time, I got up there and fumbled the bag so bad, they told me get down. I was like, go, get down. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time I got up there. One time, Captain I thought said I was up there for like 10 seconds. I don't know what I said, but I said something I should. I think I might have dropped the F-bomb, not F-U-C-K, but you know, the bundle of sticks, the LGBT bomb at camp. And right after I said it, Captain I said, go ahead and step down now. It's like, damn. we quit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like, if we got any questions in the chat, if you got any questions, go ahead and post them in the chat. No questions. All right, Most High in Christ. Well, listen, our topic for today is we're going to talk about Egypt. You understand? And the things that we went through in ancient Egypt. You understand? And how there's a direct parallel between what the Israelites went through in Egypt as what we're going through here today in America. You understand? And if you could, Baba Kashah, somebody get me the book of Exodus. We're going to start at verse 1, chapter 1, verse 1. Baba Kashah. Yeah, go ahead and start.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt.
Now, of course, you understand when the children of Israel went into Egypt, so like, you know, everybody knows the story about Israel, you know, in Egypt. You understand, you know, Joseph got sold into slavery to the Egyptians. Pharaoh had a dream, and Joseph interpreted the dream, and as a result, it ended up Egypt becoming extremely wealthy and powerful as a result of that dream. He said that you're gonna have 7 years of great harvest, and you're gonna have 7 years of famine. And so during that harvest, stack up that wheat. You understand? And then during them 7 years of famine, people started coming to Egypt because Egypt was the only ones with the grain. You understand? They were selling their gold to Egypt for grain, selling their cattle, selling their land. You know, and Egypt became a very powerful nation because of it. You understand? So Joseph did such a mighty thing that his brothers was allowed to come into Egypt and, you know, have a land to themselves within Egypt. You understand? Because he was a high ranking, he was like a governor in Egypt. Right. You understand? Read on.
Every man in his household came with Jacob.
Came with who?
Jacob.
And who was Jacob?
Jacob would be his name was turned to Israel, and he went on to have 12 sons, that which became the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right. So Jacob is the forefather of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right. You understand? Who his like the brother said, his name was later changed to Israel or Yasha Allah, which means he is a prince of the power. You understand? Read on.
Verse 2, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. Verse 3, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin. Verse 4, Dan, and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. Verse 5, and all the souls that came out of the lions of Jacob, Salakia, all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob.
All the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob, meaning his daughters too, and his grandchildren. You understand? Read on.
Were 70 souls.
70 souls. Imagine how big that family was. You understand? Listen, the scriptures say the man who have many sons have many arrows. How many wives did Jacob have?
4.
He had 4 wives. Listen, all you sisters out there that's mad because your man got an extra rib. Listen, listen, sister. Your daddy, your great-great-grandpappy had 4 ribs. Your great-great-grandmama shared her man. Right. You understand? And guess what? Your great-great-grandmother was a greater woman than you.
Sure.
And she shared her man. You understand? Read on.
For Joseph was in Egypt already.
Go ahead.
Verse 6.
And that's what we was talking about earlier. You know, Joseph was already in Egypt because his brother sold him in Egypt, but he rose to power in Egypt because the Lord helped, gave him the ability to interpret his dream. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation.
You understand? Because here's the thing. That generation that came in, time passed, and they lived in Egypt, and they lived their lives out. Right. You understand? They lived their lives out, just like how brothers and sisters live their lives out here in America. You know, your grandparents lived their life out and passed away. You understand? He just said that whole generation of people, they had lived, had children, had families, raised families, and passed away. So now them 70 souls that came in, all them 70 souls had another generation. They came in after that. You understand? And they, you know what I'm saying, them generations was coming and going. Read on.
Verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful.
Go ahead.
And increased abundantly.
So the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly. You understand? Meaning that they grew from them 70 brothers and sisters to an entire nation of people in Egypt. You understand? Much like how after slavery, not many of us survived the transatlantic slave trade as compared to how many were unalived. You understand? There were not many who survived. So when we came into America, we were not great in number. We were the minority. You understand? But today we sit the majority. You understand? When you connect all the 12 tribes together, we are the majority. You understand? Read on.
And multiply and wax exceeding mighty.
And wax exceedingly mighty. You understand? Because think about the children of Israel. We talking about the foundation of the nation. Right. You understand? All them good genetics was bouncing around. You probably had about 100 LeBron Jameses, about 500 Mike Tysons, about 1,200 Shaquille O'Neals. You know what I'm saying? All them good genetics was coming out around there. You understand? Read on. They wax mighty. Like, think about it like this, right? You know how when you watch like black children, Hispanic children, Native American children, they grew up different than Caucasians, than our oppressors. You understand? Like, and I remember in middle school, now I was never lucky enough to have no 6-pack in my life. I ain't never had no 6-pack. As far back as I can remember, ain't never been no 6-pack. You know what I'm saying? I've been keg shouty since the womb. You know what I'm saying? Keg belly shouted since the womb. You understand? But growing up, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we like us kids, all the kids that grew up in my school, all the black kids, we when we was almost like grown men in high school. You know what I'm saying? We were strong. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't lifting no weights. The oppressors kids, they had a whole class for lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? It was called fitness. We was going to gym playing basketball. They was in fitness and strength lifting weights. You understand? And we was strong, you know what I'm saying? Athletic, you know what I'm saying? And we was exceedingly mighty. You understand? And think about this. Think about the plantations. On them plantations, brothers and sisters wasn't in the gym. You know what I'm saying? They was wrangling oxes, you know what I mean, and plowing fields and doing things like that. You know, our oppressor, he couldn't do that. If he could do it, he'd do it today. But he don't. He got to use tractors and things like that. But you know what? It's brothers in South Carolina. I see you go through Pendleton, South Carolina right now, and you're going to see brothers plowing fields with bulls. Go ahead, Doc.
Kind of Salaki, if I may. I had a great grandfather that I had a chance of meeting that was a part of the last little bit of slavery. And he said that we had something called natural strength. Right. And he said that's what you get, that strength without like lifting weights and training with it. And he was like, man, I don't know what was wrong with us. We was just coming out the womb strong as an ox. Right. And he was like, man, bro, he told me my great grandfather, his son was strong enough to like knock a horse out, knock a hog out, one swing.
Yeah. And it's brothers out here. Like, listen, I know a brother right now. If you look at him, you wouldn't think it. But that brother, last time I went to the gym with this brother was the last time I went to the gym with this brother. You know what I'm saying? This brother, smaller than me now. I'm a big guy. He's smaller than me. Man, we get to the bench. You know, I'm knocking out 225. You know what I'm saying? Doing my set 250, 275, 300. You know what I'm saying? 354. Man, this fool warmed up with 650. God damn. Warm up. You know what I'm saying? And then looked at me like, go ahead. I'm like, man, you gotta take like half of that off. like I ain't you ain't about to have me. He like, go ahead. And he, you know what I'm saying? Doing it like it ain't nothing. I'm like, man, where you get this from? You know what I'm saying? Everybody be like, his daddy was strong like that too. You know what I'm saying? And it's like now, listen, man, that fool, like I see him every once in a while. Like we'll be in passing whenever, you know, when brothers be working out, we'll just see each other in passing. Man, last time I seen him, man, he was telling me that, you know, he ran out of space on the bar. I'm like, man, get out of here. He like a power lifter, a normal, everyday human being, power lifter. There are brothers. I don't know about other parts of the country, but in South Carolina, there are brothers that bench press 800, 900, 1,000 pounds. I done seen it. I had a friend named Dub. He an older brother. He remind you of General Haas, but he drive the trash trucks at Anderson. Man, listen, this brother Dub. I remember I went to the gym and he was at the gym, and he was just like a little 30-minute quick little workout. All he did was bench press the whole day. Man, this fool had like the bar. Like, you ever seen Ronnie Coleman? Yeah. Listen, man, you see what Ronnie Coleman was squatting, this dude was benching. And he just a stocky dude, just walking around picking up trash cans all day. That's all he do. Forearms this damn big. You know, like Popeye the Sailor Man. You know what I'm saying? Brother just diesel for no reason. And that's reality. Like, I don't know what it is about South Carolina. I don't know if it's in the water. I don't know. It skipped me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look here. I ain't that. I guess because I grew up in DC. I don't know. But brothers down here, man, his brothers is ridiculously strong. And the crazy thing about it, a lot of them related.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think Dub and the other homeboy, they cousins. You know what I'm saying? But just strong for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I had another friend, his grandfather, they used to tell stories about his granddaddy. Said his granddaddy was a farmer. And he used to grow sweet potatoes. And said when they go out there and help him in the farm, he said, "Boy, don't tell him you hungry." He said, "Cause you know what he gonna do? He gonna stick his hand right in the dirt, grab a sweet potato, brush it off, and hand it to you till you eat." He said that's what he used to do. He used to dig sweet potatoes out the ground with his bare hands and eat them right there on the spot, like an apple. You know what I'm saying? Grab, snatching stuff out the dirt. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Snatch it out the dirt. You know what I'm saying? But even back then, we waxed mighty. You understand? And imagine. Listen, man. You see them Africans on TV. They don't do that. They ain't built like us. They not like us. You know what I'm saying? They ain't built like that. Them Hamites get to looking at, man. Like, look at LeBron over there, man. But they got a whole all-star team over there. And they just throwing rocks in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen. In the hood, everybody can relate to this. In the hood, you know how you got how you got them brothers in the hood. Ain't never been in the gym. Ain't never been swung from no what they call them things. What they call them things in the gymnastics. Yeah. The little trapeze. What them things called? I
forgot what they
the rings. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't never been in no gymnastics gym and do a whole gymnastics routine in the middle of the concrete. Do a triple bypass twisting backflip with their legs straight. The arms crossed like this, legs straight, do a triple backflip, twisting, spinning in the air, and then land on their 2 feet at 12 years old. What they call triple gainer backflips. Listen, man. Listen. And there'd be a lot of kids like that in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Even me, my old chubby selves out there doing backflips. Yeah. You know, I can't do no backflip now. I can't even do a cartwheel now. But even then at 12 years old, I was out there doing backflips. You know what I'm saying? And now the white boys in my neighborhood, they was out there skateboarding, breaking their leg and all that. You know what I'm saying? We was hooping and backflipping, jumping fences. You know what I'm saying? Running from dogs. You know what I'm saying? But you look at the kids in the black community, they are far superior than the kids in the white communities and the Arab communities. Look at them Arab kids. Man, look at here. My niece, when she was 6 years old, was beating up white boys in the first grade. White boys. Beating them up. You know what I'm saying? Got in trouble so much. She's like, I don't like the way they look at me. They was talking about my hair. He said, well, what you do when they, and then, you know, and then they was making fun of her because see, my niece, you know, ever since she was an infant. And, you know, I remember I used to tell her, I remember at one time she came up to me crying. And it was like right after she first really started talking. My niece came up to me crying. She ran up to me because her older brothers and sisters had hit her. She ran up to me and said, oh, Uncle Jeremy, they hit me. I looked down, I said, so? hit him back. And she looked at me like, huh. Hit him back. So she turned around and gave him the business. Started hitting him in the private parts and everything. He got him up on him. She said, I did it. I did it. She said, you see? I said, that's my little girl. And I used to tell her all the time, you know you're my favorite, right? You know what I'm saying? And I used to tell her all the time how beautiful her hair was because she had her mama used to let her wear these big old Afro puffs, like Mickey Mouse ear Afro puffs. Right. And every time I see her with them Afro puffs, I'd tell her how beautiful she was. And so when she started going to school, you couldn't tell her nothing. You could not tell her that she was not beautiful with them Afro puffs. Well, them white boys was cracking jokes on her. Yeah, they crack jokes. She cracked heads. You know what I'm saying? She was cracking heads. It was like that. So her mom, her mama didn't really discipline her like that, but her grandmama was disciplining. But when she said that, when they asked her, said her grandmama does hair. So, she does, sister who does hair, you know what I mean? So they was like, what? Why you in there beating up? I'm like, what you doing fighting in school? She said, well, now they was messing, they was talking about my hair. Said my hair was ugly and nappy. And my grandma looked at her and said, oh, well, good job. Good job. Now I ain't got to go up to the school. Yeah. But nevertheless, that's a girl beating up they so-called alpha males. You know what I'm saying? At a young age. So we built different from childhood. Right. You understand? And even into adulthood. Why you think they got to dope us up? Why you think they got to put us on drugs? Why you think they got to have things like child support? Right. Because if they didn't, look at Black Wall Street. What happened when they left us alone to be by ourselves? You know what I'm saying? We became the richest economy in the world. Or at least one of them. I think we was like the third richest economy in the world, or the second richest economy in the world, if not the richest. You understand? That's what happened when you leave us alone. While you going through a Great Depression, we over there balling out the gym. We got an airport, airplanes. What's happening? We got dentist's office, lawyer's office. We were slaves yesterday. You know what I'm saying? But we bankers today. Yeah, we got this little thing over here we call the stock market. Put a little bit of money in, and guess what? The business do good. Guess what? Everybody get paid. You know what I'm saying? So our oppressor couldn't have that. Why you think they got to do all this? You understand? Just like how in America, when they freed us from slavery, we waxed mighty. You understand? And we came to ourselves and we waxed mighty. We got rich and powerful and influential. We didn't need to sit down at the Walsworth and eat no unseasoned chicken. You understand? We ain't have to go into Macy's and buy no Louis Vuitton suit. We were buying suits from Uncle Elroy, who was a better tailor than Louis Vuitton. You understand? Read on.
And the land was filled with them.
Egypt was, we was getting it in. Right. One thing Israel loved.
Ain't no lie there.
One thing Israel loved to do. You know what I'm saying? We love to tie that fire. We ties that fire in Israel. You understand? Read on. And on top of that, we have multiple wives. You understand? We was shooting them clubs up. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Verse 8 of Exodus chapter 1. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt.
Go ahead.
Which knew not Joseph.
So read that again.
Verse 8. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
Now the reason why Israel was able to prosper so much is because there was a family of pharaohs that honored a deal that they made with Joseph for generations. Now, if you're not familiar with the history of Egypt, they had different dynasties throughout the history of Egypt. You understand what I mean by dynasty? What's a dynasty?
Dynasty would be like an empire.
Give me a little more.
Basically like cities.
No. Kaz, you want to give it a shot?
Yes, sir. Can you repeat the question again?
What is a dynasty?
Okay, a dynasty is something most like with a family.
What do you mean?
Like families that you build up, like different families come and take over, I guess.
Right. Right. A cause is owning. Yeah, what a dynasty is a ruling family. So say if this school right here is an empire, it's a country, right? Me and my children and my descendants are the pharaohs. Well, for whatever reason, Lakamuan was like, man, them niggas ain't hitting no hint. You know what I'm saying? Let's kill them off and let's take over the empire. Then you're a new dynasty. My dynasty has fallen. Your dynasty has risen. You understand? Sort of like presidents. Think of like a more modern equivalent to that, or a less archaic version of that is presidents. Each new president is a whole different dynasty. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not the same. It's not like a rulership where the king's children take over after he passes away. You understand? Each election, it changes hands. So when it changes from one family to another family, that is a dynasty. Like I'll give an example. King James. When King James was king, that was his family dynasty that ruled over English, Scotland, and Wales. England, Scotland, and Wales. And when they killed his son, George, Oliver Cromwell, and his children, descendants, became give me 1 second, Salah. Hey, Shalom, yo. All right, so sorry about that. So when Oliver Cromwell and all his Edomite descendants became the kings of England and Scotland and Wales, that was a new dynasty. You understand? So what's happening here with Pharaoh is you had a dynasty that honored that deal with Joseph, but now you have a rise of a new dynasty that knew not Joseph. You understand? So when it says a new king over Egypt, it's not talking about an individual king. It's talking about a new dynasty, which is the rulership of Ramses. You understand? Ramses the second. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 9. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Now, here's think about it like this, right? Think about what happened after slavery. When they let us go from slavery. You understand? When they had that, matter of fact, I should have had this queued up, Salakia. See if you can find a clip for me, Baba Shah, of, I believe it was Richard Nixon talking about how many babies black people were having. Okay. See if you can find that clip for me, Baba Shah. And hold that, Lacombe.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's give him time to find this clip. Believe it was Richard Nixon. Or was it Lyndon B. Johnson? Let me see. Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Shalom, yo, check it out. Salaki about that. Did you find that video? I think I did find it right here.
The Supreme Court decided Roe v. Wade in January 1973, removing most restrictions on abortion. President Nixon told his special counsel, Chuck Colson, that even though he believed abortion encouraged permissiveness, it shouldn't always be out of the question. In another of the candid and sometimes coarse conversations released today, the president muses about anti-Semitism. He's talking to evangelist Billy Graham and worries about reaction to the Washington visit of Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir, because Israel has just shot down a Libyan passenger plane.
Anti-Semitism is more stronger than we think, you know. It's unfortunate, but this has happened to Jews. It's happened in Spain. It's happened in Germany. It's happening, and now it's going to happen in America if these people don't start behaving. It may be they have it that way. You know, that's been the problem with our Jewish friends for centuries.
Well, they've always been, through the Bible at least, God's timepiece, and He has judged them from generation to generation, and yet used them, and they've kept their identity.
On Inauguration Day, 1973, on the phone with Colson, President Nixon, ruthlessly pragmatic, justifies the Christmas bombing of Hanoi as necessary to break the deadlock in the Paris peace talks.
We all know that this whole, almost hysteria about the bombing has been a media created thing. Totally. But when you come down to it, the bombing is over.
I think it is Richard.
We're going back to the table, and we're going to have an agreement.
South Vietnam's president, Nguyen Van Tu, feared the peace deal would foster.
Hold on.
Expected on Bunker. Download today.
Okay, well, just go look it up on your own. There's a clip of Richard Nixon, a leaked phone call. Hold on. There's a leaked phone call of Richard Nixon, and he was being briefed on how many children black people were having. Hold on, let me try one more thing. Hold on. Salakia. Yeah, I'm not able to find it off the rip. I should have had it a little more prepared, Salakia, about that. But just go look into it. It might not have been him. It might have been Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson. That was the one that became president after John F. Kennedy, I believe. Lyndon B. Johnson. Let's see. The phone call. Black babies. Nah, it wasn't him. It was Richard Nixon. Yeah, it was definitely Richard Nixon.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but,
Yeah, it was Richard Nixon who said it. Richard Nixon was president of the United States. And Richard Nixon was being briefed on how many black children were being born in America. Because this is why they matter of fact, hold on 1 second. Because I think it was when he was discussing the war on drugs. Richard Nixon tapes. War on drugs. Davies. Yeah, I just look it up because I'm not able to find it.
Trap music.
Uh,
It's known for its heavy bass, aggressive drums, and
I'm not able to find it. I'm not able to find it right now. And the crazy thing is, I'll probably find it as soon as I get home. You know what I mean? But if I find it, then I'll post it on the South Carolina page so everyone can see it. But Richard Nixon had a similar conversation with his appointees, where what they were discussing the amount of black people that were being born in America. And he was shocked. And he was like, wow, they're having that many? And those was his exact word. He said, wow, they're having that many? He was shocked at how many babies we was giving birth to. You understand? And the thing is that the government viewed it as a problem because they were like, we got to get a handle on this black people thing. It's far too many of them. They're having way too many babies. You understand? So that's almost identical to what the Pharaoh just said. He just said, if you could read it again for me, Bob Kasha. Yeah. So like, I know you're trying to keep the coals burning, so like
Verse 9 of Exodus chapter 1. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
You understand? That's the same thing Richard Nixon was saying. Richard Nixon, his aides was letting them know, like, listen, man, they getting mighty out there, man. They having babies, and pretty soon we're gonna be the minority. We gotta put a stop to it. We gotta figure out something going on, man. Right. Because and then they fear was like, what if they get mighty and powerful and get to join in communist parties and all this and that? You know what I mean? We gonna be screwed then. Right. And what we gonna do? When we the minority in our own country. Right. You understand? So read on.
Verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
So that's the same thing that our oppressor did. They came and said, let us deal wisely with them. So how did they deal wisely with us here in America? Go ahead.
It's a number of things. Integration, welfare, EBT, Section 8, government assistance.
And you know what's crazy about all of that? All of that is in the Negro Project. Right. The Negro Project is how they dealt wisely with us. You understand? The Negro Project. If you don't know what the Negro Project is, you need to wake up and look it up. The Negro Project was a well thought out plan by Margaret Sanger to exterminate the black race. You understand? And y'all out here wanting to sleep with troglodyte women You understand? Meanwhile, they trying to exterminate your ass. You understand? You going to sleep with the same thing. That's like a roach sleeping with a Raid can, kissing the Raid can in the mouth. They trying to exterminate you.
Exactly.
And you kissing them in the mouth, having babies with them. You understand? And you know what I mean? You know, you think it's thing sweet. Listen, it's 2024 year, you know what I mean? We living under this veil of Martin Luther King. But listen, you better wake up and pay attention. Because when Donald Trump stood up there and held up that sign and said white boy summer, yeah, that should let you know right now that dream that Martin Luther King had, it's about to get ripped out from in front of you, just like them, you know how them people be ripping them tablecloths off and everything stay on the table.
Okay.
That dream is about to flip that quick.
Okay.
Yeah, you about to find out what that white boy summer mean. You understand? You about to find out. When Donald Trump get reelected, oh, it's on. You understand? And he told you, he said, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath. You understand? He said it's going to be a bloodbath. Go ahead, Doc.
You thought January 6th was bad.
Yeah. Thought January 6th was bad. Wait till November, whatever election day is. Go ahead, Doc.
I feel if Donald Trump becomes president, or if he loses the presidential race, I feel like civil war may break out.
Hey, well, listen, if it do break out, bro, I can tell you why your house shot. You understand? Because it's long overdue. You understand? But at the same time, you understand, our people need to be wise and wake up to the times. Because if you do not, it is going to cost you your life. You understand? It is going to cost you your life. You in a religion foaming at the mouth. You understand? Praise dancing in some Christian church, worshiping a white God. You understand? What you going to do when your white God kicks the door into your church while you sitting there foaming at the mouth and with an AR-15 and sends you to your God? What you going to do then? What you going to do when your God that you worship, you understand, walks into your Easter service while you in your Easter suit, while your kids is out there hunting for Easter bunny eggs? You understand? And he just start popping kids. You understand? Right. Your babies at the Easter egg hunt. You understand? Listen, think about how stupid you are to be in this Christian church. Think about how dumb and stupid you are to be. Listen, man, the Lord is a man of war. Everything about serving the Lord is about warfare.
Right.
You understand? Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans need to wake up and realize that this is not our rest. We are at war. You understand? We are at war.
Right.
You understand? This is warfare. Biological warfare, chemical warfare, spiritual warfare, physical warfare. You understand? Because brothers is physically getting unalive by the police.
Right.
Brothers is chemically getting unalive by fentanyl.
Right.
Brothers is biologically getting unalive by all kinds of STDs. You understand? This is war. But the scriptures say the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but spiritual and mighty to the pulling down of strongholds. America is a stronghold. And guess what? We come together in this UPK and we separate from our oppressor, and that stronghold will fall before your eyes.
Right.
Without you having to lift a finger. All you got to do is stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Stop being a goddamn LGBT. Stop being a drug addict, and stop being so weak under your woman. And the Lord will do wonderful things for us.
Right.
You understand? The Lord will do tremendous things for us. You have no idea how much. Listen, man, the Lord says, what a father, if a child asks his father for a piece of bread, You understand? Would he hand you a stone? Come on, man. We need to wake up, man. We in here serving our oppressor. You understand? Worshiping him like a god, like he's just the smartest, most brilliant mind on the planet. You understand? Waiting on him to save us from drug addiction, from disease, from police brutality. You understand? Well, it's in his nature to do that. It's in his nature to hate you. It's in his nature to seek to exterminate you. Just like in that movie Planet of the Apes. In that movie Planet of the Apes, what is it that Caesar said about the humans? He said that it's in their nature to rule over us. It's in their nature to do it. It's in their nature to oppress them. You understand? And they will never stop, which is why they belong in a goddamn cage. Go ahead, Al.
And Salaki, if I may, you can tell that in that Christian church, that oppressor Jesus that they, worship is not a real God, because when a crackhead goes in to the Christian church, or when an LGBT person goes into the Christian church, 10 years later, they're still on crack. They're still in LGBT. The Bible says, when the truth shall set you free. When brothers and sisters come into UPK, you could let a brother come into UPK as a crackhead. 10 years later, he's no longer a crackhead. He's a captain
with multiple wives and 20 kids.
Right.
You understand? That's so heavy what that brother brought out. Our king said, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Right.
So what does that mean about this Christian church? That means that they ain't the goddamn truth.
That's right.
They ain't the damn truth. They are a lie. You understand? They are a lie. That is the house of Satan. Christianity is the religion of white supremacy. You understand? When you are a Christian, you are a white supremacist. You understand? Read on.
Verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
And just like in Egypt, in America, they came up with all these systems and things they put in place to deal wisely with us.
Okay.
You understand? We didn't even see it coming. You understand? That's how wiped out and destroyed we are in America. We don't even see it coming. We don't see it. We so destroyed, we don't even realize that child support is an act of war. We don't even realize that welfare is an act of war. That is a war tactic. You understand? The scriptures say, how can you enter into a strong man's house lest you first bind the strong man? And how do they bind the strong man? They tell the woman, they beguile the woman, just like the serpent beguiled Eve in the garden. When are you going to stop being so naive to trust in the serpent instead of the man that lays in your bed at night? When are you going to trust in that black man? You understand? Why don't you try trusting your black man? You understand? You put so much trust in a damn judge. Don't you realize that if the tables was turned and if he was the one that had the custody and that you was the one that was on child support, they would throw you in the dirt just like they'd throw us in the dirt.
Damn, bro.
They would shoot you in the back just like they shot Walter Scott in the back. You understand? Read on.
Unless they multiply.
Unless what?
Unless they multiply.
Unless they what?
Unless they multiply.
Unless they multiply. That was their biggest fear.
Right.
Was us multiplying. Read on.
And it came to pass that when there falleth out any war, they joined also unto our enemies.
See, that's what the Egyptians were scared of. They were scared of us going and joining their enemies because we were so powerful and mighty. If we joined their enemies, oh boy, we done. Want to know how they know that? Because as long as they rocking with Egypt, they can destroy all their enemies. As long as blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans is joining the military, America gonna destroy all their enemies. But the second you say, nah, Mr. White Man, I'm in that 501c3 Isupk. Yeah, I can't go. I can't go in the draft, sir.
Right.
You know, I'm you know what I mean? I'm an active participant. You know what I'm saying? In that 501c3. You know what I'm saying? I'm exempt, sir, from this draft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You come into this UPK, when they go to draft blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, guess what they not going to have? They're not going to have blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But here's the thing. This is what's so heavy about what that scripture is saying. He said, lest they join their enemies, right? Mm-hmm. Well, guess who else is an enemy to America? Guess who else was an enemy to Egypt and is also an enemy to America? Think about it. We the commodity.
The Most High?
The Most High.
God.
The Most High is an enemy to America. The Most High is an enemy to Egypt. You understand? So guess what? They don't want you to join their greatest enemy, which is the Most High. They don't want you to join the truth. That's why they set up. That's why they use COINTELPRO to set up these fake Israelite groups, because they don't want you in the UPK. They don't want you in the UPK. The FBI done told Commander General Yohana that we know that y'all the truth. The FBI know the UPK the truth. You understand? Yeah. And guess what? They're spending billions of dollars to make sure that you don't know that it's the truth. Right. Why is that? Because the Lord is an enemy to America. And they don't want you to join their enemies. Read on. They saying, God bless America. God is going to burn America. Right. Read on.
They join also unto our enemies and fight against us.
Read on.
And so get them up out of the land.
So get them up out of the land. Meaning, at the time, there was a land that they had given, that they was given to us, that we lived in and we prospered in. You understand? Just like the land that we lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we prospered in. You understand? Guess what? They said the same thing Pharaoh said. Get them out of the land. The same thing they said in the southeastern United States when they sent the Native American brothers and sisters up the Trail of Tears. They said, get them out of the land. You understand? Read on.
Verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters.
They did what?
They did set over them taskmasters.
And that's just like your police, your manager at your job, your boss, the judge, the prosecutor, the taskmasters. You understand? And make sure you doing something productive with your life. You understand? Besides sitting around being a priest of the Lord. Right. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you sitting around being a priest of the Lord, saving brothers from drug addiction. Right. You know what I'm saying? Getting brothers out of prison, feeding the homeless. They don't want you doing that. You understand? Matter of fact, in downtown Greenville, you go through downtown Greenville, you're going to see signs. It make me sick to my stomach, and it burns in the pit of my soul every time I see it. They have signs to say, don't give your money to the homeless. Give your money to us.
That's crazy.
You understand? Meanwhile, we just had a situation in Durham where they gave $6 million to organizations that are supposed to feed the homeless. Turns out they taking the money and running a cocaine operation with it.
Yeah, damn.
You understand? And guess who had to step up? Guess who had to step up to the plate because you Christians failed blacks and Hispanics? Right. Commander General Yohana. Right. And we're gonna continue to step up to that plate. Right. Because unlike the Christian church, we actually love blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans. Read on.
Verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens.
To do what?
To afflict them with their
The
burdens.
state troopers, the sheriff, the parole officer, the probation officer, the child, the caseworker, the child services. You understand? Planned Parenthood, the judge, the prosecutor. You understand? The clerk of court, the governor, the mayor. You understand? The councilman. You understand? The alderman. You understand? All of these people were set over us to afflict us. You understand? Read on.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities.
And guess what? Blacks and Hispanics, did we not build treasured cities in America? Did we not build Washington, D.C.? Did we not build Manhattan Island? Did we not build Chicago, Los Angeles? Did we not build Atlanta, St. Louis? Did we not build treasured cities? Read on.
Pithom and Ramses. Verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
Now that is heavy. Because it says that the more that they afflicted the 12 tribes of Israel, the more they grew.
Right.
You understand? One thing that ain't going to stop Israel from getting at that tail is poverty. One thing that ain't going to stop Israel is oppression. The more you oppress us, the more we making babies.
Yes.
That's what happened. That's how we cope. That must be how we cope with oppression. Huh?
Yes.
Man, white man, the devil, man, go ahead and give me that piece of that pie. You know what I'm saying?
Stress reliever.
I need that stress relief. You know what I'm saying? Lay up under that thigh, it's over with.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, huh?
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
They were what?
They were grieved because of the children of Israel.
Now, why were they grieved? Why were they grieved when we built treasure cities for them? We loved the Egyptians. We joined the Egyptians. We followed their religions. We ate their food, supported their businesses. Why were they grieved? You understand? Because they knew that they was not us. And they hated us. You understand? They hated us for no reason. You understand? Read on.
Verse 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
To serve with rigor. You understand? That's just like the transatlantic slave trade. I'll tell you, I'll give you another example of how they make slaves to serve with rigor today. You understand? By raising the price of rent so high that they say that in some cities you have to work. I think the average rent, you have to work an average of 100 hours a week to be able to pay your own rent. You understand? A full-time job is 40 hours out. You got to work 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job to survive.
Your week is gone.
That's slavery.
Okay.
Just to pay the rent. Salaki, go ahead.
Verse 14. And they made their lives bitter.
And did what?
And they made their lives bitter.
And they did what?
Made their lives bitter.
Is black people's lives not made bitter in America? You understand? You ain't got to be in the truth to know that. You understand? Are you here's the question. Are you a crackhead? Are you a drug addict? Do you smoke? Do you get high? You understand? Do you rob? Do you steal? You understand? Do you commit crimes against your own people just to survive? Then your life is bitter. You understand? Do you have custody of your children? You understand? Do you have a man. I'm not talking about a friends with benefits. Do you have a man that's willing to die for you? That's willing to go out in a field and build a house with his bare hands just so you can not be out in the rain? Do you have that? Do your children listen? Do your children know their father? Do your baby daddy know that ain't his child? Then your life is bitter. You understand? Your life is bitter. And listen, do you watch these little YouTube shows where people be talking about you're not a high value man unless you making six figures? And do you feel like less of a man because you don't make six figures? Then your life is made bitter, my friend. Read on.
Verse 14 of chapter 1 of Exodus. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage.
With what?
Hard bondage.
Are you in prison right now? Are you in jail? Did you just get out of jail? You understand? Do you work a remedial job where you have to deal with bullshit from your boss? Then your life is bitter. Read on.
In mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field.
Do you think about that? It said in all manner of service in the field. You understand? In brick and mortar and all manner of service in the field. Do you work a job in America that makes do you make your boss rich? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Listen, I used to work in sales, and I'm not no dummy. You understand? I'm a numbers guy. You know, I'm a data analyst. I love to analyze data. Like this is my brain is just wired for it. So when I would do sales, and they used to give me a commission on my sales, it used to burn me alive every month to look at my everybody like, "Ooh, I made this much on my my." Listen, I was a top salesman at the job, highest commission in the whole call center. But it used to eat me up that I would sit there and look at my revenue. I'm like, damn, I made $250,000 this month for this company. They gonna pay me $5,000. That's just me by myself. $250,000. When I worked at a newspaper, when I was in college, I worked at this newspaper, and it was my only job I had while I was a graphic designer. I was the greatest graphic designer that ever stepped foot in that building. You understand? I came in and was doing work so effortlessly that they went from making next to nothing, almost about to phase out the department, to making six figures my first 6 months on the job. And at the end of the year, we cleared $1 million in revenue. I was making like $12 an hour. You know what I'm saying? My hands produced $1 million for this company. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Salaki, I got similar story. I'm gonna keep it short, but my last job, I worked for Snyder Corporation, Snyder Electric Corporation, and my job was I helped build generators and servers for other companies such as the Baltimore Ravens, all of that such as foremost. It was one day as I was building one of the structures, a server for the Baltimore Ravens. I just so happened to look at the blueprint and saw how much the entire job cost. And the entire job cost, if I can remember it correctly, it was right around about $550,000 to $600,000. So I'm like, slaving and sweating over this thing that costs $600,000. And the only thing I get for it is a $1,000 bonus that they're going to tax, then put with my regular check and tax it again. So out of that $1,000, I'm only going to see probably about $600, maybe $700 out of it.
That is slavery. Listen, do you think it's not slavery? Do you think, listen, Akash, pull up a pay stub for a slave in America. No, pull up a pay stub for a slave.
Oh boy. Oh shit.
Did y'all know they had pay stubs?
Yeah.
You didn't know that, did you?
Know that.
Oh,
Slaves got paychecks.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? You ever heard of Denmark VC?
Con?
Listen, Denmark VC. Did you know they had lottery during slavery?
Nah,
You know you can play the lottery during slavery?
I didn't know that.
You ain't know that?
I knew about the Egyptian slavery. Some of us got paid, but it still wasn't.
We got paid in bread and loaves of bread. And
Con.
we talking about here in America.
Con.
You know what I'm saying? In America, they got paychecks.
Con.
They got paid every 2 weeks.
Didn't know that.
We got paid every 2 weeks as a slave. The problem is that rent was so high that you barely made enough to survive. So you was constantly in debt. You got it? You looking at it? Show it to the people. Show this to the people, man. You ain't know slaves got paychecks.
They got a lot of them.
Just click on one of them. Click on any of them.
This one's. Oh, yeah.
These brothers are shocked.
$1.
Look at them paychecks. You showing them to the class? Man, put that on the screen for them to see, man. They don't believe me. They don't believe me, Akash. They think I'm making it up.
That's crazy as hell.
Look, y'all think I'm making it up. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in the truth. We don't lie in the truth. Do people see it? Look at that. That is a pay stub. How much you got paid? $1?
It started off with 12, and then they start taking tax.
Yeah, it started with $12. Let's see. Hold on. I need to take my sunglasses off of this. Hold on. Furniture. They tax you for furniture.
Good God. It was like the only thing he made was 60 cents out of $12.
No, he made $1. Hold up. Get out of here, man. So his check was left at the end of everything. His check came to $1. What's that? 32 cents. And then they deducted 75 cents off of that. So basically, they got paid $1 a day, and they worked 6 days a week because they was off on Sundays. You know, a lot of slaves was off on Sundays. You understand? Because they want you to go to church and listen to the pastor tell you how you need to obey your master. So they worked Monday through Saturday. So it's $1 a day. That's 12 days in a 2-week span. So their check was $12. And they taxed that thing all the way down to, what is that? 60 cents.
God, that's 60. He only made 60.
He made 60 cents
out of $12.
out of $12. That's a pay stub. That's in Halifax County. Where's Halifax County? Google that. Find out where Halifax County is. This is a pay stub for a slave.
That's crazy as hell. So, like, you remember that movie 12 Years a Slave? You ever seen that? You remember?
I don't think I watched the movie.
Halifax County is in North Carolina.
That's in North Carolina right there. North Carolina, man, you work for 2 weeks, you got paid 60 cents. How much was 60 cents? What year was this? 1859. Look up how much 60 cents would have been compared to today from 1859. Matter of fact, just put in $1. How much was $1? What's $1 worth? Because I know back then you could get a lot of stuff for 60 cents. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think back then you might have been able to buy a Coca-Cola for less than a penny. For a good penny, you could have got you a quarter, you know, not a quarter. I said a quarter, like you know what I'm saying? You buy a quarter for a penny. You know what I'm saying? Then you might as well just buy quarters then. Let me get 60 quarters.
The game.
How much for them dollars? A quarter for $1? All right, let me get $60. Oh, how much for $100? Oh, let me get $100.
$1 in 1800s is worth $24.93 a day.
Night. Good night.
This is 2024.
Good night.
This man's paycheck was $24. You can't buy a number one at McDonald's
Cheeseburger. Not even cheeseburger.
with some chicken nuggets for $24.
You can't buy a hamburger.
Yeah, you can't buy a hamburger for $24. You can't eat at Red Robin for that. You can't take nobody on no date for $24. $24, and then you man, listen, and then you still got to pay rent. See, that's how they got you. You see what I'm saying? Rent. You know,
40 cents.
nah, rent was more than that. Rent was probably like $20.
Yeah,
back then. Rent was probably like $20. They probably like, we'll pay you $12 a week. Oh, $12 2 weeks. That's $24 a month. Yeah, I can pay that $20 a month. All right, cool. So then they be like, well, yeah, we got here go your paycheck. Wait a minute, hold on now. You know what I'm saying? You said they were gonna pay me $12 a month. $12 every 2 weeks. Well, you got to pay taxes, and you got to pay the sheriff, and you got to pay the Social Security, and you got to pay your furniture tax. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
60 cents. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? They used to have to save that. If you wanted to buy your freedom, you had to save up a whole lot of them 60 cents.
You can't spend nothing.
You can't spend nothing.
So that'll keep you coming back to the slave.
You know what I'm saying? You can't spend nothing. You know what I'm saying? In North Carolina, they was slaves got paychecks.
So if it was like
They got paid.
If it was like that in North Carolina, I would sure hate to see what Alabama and all that is like.
But here's the heavy part. Don't you get one of them at your job?
Okay.
Don't that look similar to what you get at your job?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All taxes taken off.
They do the same thing today at Burger King.
All right.
Guess what? Congratulations. You're a slave. You think you're free. You're a slave. Harriet Tubman said, I could have freed 1,000 more slaves had they only knew they were slaves. Guess what? You a slave. You just one of them slaves that Harriet Tubman would have had to shoot in the chest with a shotgun. You understand? That's the only thing. Harriet Tubman would have put you down because you don't know that you're a slave. Dummy. You're a slave. This is a pay stub for a slave. You getting the pay stub at work? Guess what? You a slave. You a slave. And guess what else? Even though you own your own business, black man, you're a slave. You're a slave. Read up.
Verse 15.
Take that down.
And the king of Egypt spake unto the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shapharah, and the name of the other Pur. Verse 16, and he said, when ye do the office of midwife to the Hebrew women and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him.
You should do what?
Kill him.
You should do what?
Kill him.
Now, what does that remind you of? Go ahead.
Salakia, abortion. Sir.
Wow. Are they not unaliving black babies in America?
Kind of, sir, at a high rate.
At a very high rate, are they not?
Salakia.
Go ahead.
We was listening to a sister speak about it yesterday. She was saying since the 1970s, 18 million black babies have been unalive, and in the next few years that number will be doubled, and that will make 36 million.
But here's the heavy part. Since the day, I'll take it even further. Because I broke down with a calculator and calculated this. Since the day they legalized slavery, up until about 3-4 years ago, the total had already reached 26 million.
God.
So she said from the 70s, I'm telling you, it got legalized in the 60s. Since the 60s, the number was at 26 million as of a couple of years ago. So the sister is almost correct, but the number is actually higher.
Okay.
Because we consistently aborted we averaged 450,000 abortions a year. That's the average since they legalized abortion. That's the average, which means some years we had more, some years we had less, but we averaged 450,000 each year. You understand? I did the mathematics. You know what I'm saying? Round about 450,000 is what we averaged, and I modestly added up to 26 million. Means it's actually a little higher than that.
That's just an estimate.
Yeah, it's not an estimate. It's just that I don't feel like giving you like the exact numbers because they have an exact number. You understand? They have an exact number. There's a record of it. They have record of every abortion that's ever happened. Right. So they have a tally of abortions. And the problem is now over the past few years, especially more so in the past few months, I've noticed that they've made it trickier to research or pull up that information easily on Google. Like, remember that time we was looking up? What was we looking up that time? Where I had to calculate the number. Marriages. We had to calculate the numbers just to figure out a number. They're like, 1 in 1,000. Like, nah, man, give me the number. Don't give me a ratio. I want a number. Now they give you ratios. They don't want to give you numbers. You know what I'm saying? Because they know we pulling up that information. Okay. That's why when you ask Alexa certain questions, she ain't got the answers now. You know what I'm saying? Because they flooding the internet with ratios and misinformation. That's COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO stands for counterintelligence. You know what I'm saying? That's what code N, CO, counter, IN, intelligence, program. Counterintelligence. I'm going to give you an example of counterintelligence, right? Here's an example of counterintelligence. Counterintelligence. If I tell my child there is no Santa Claus, and then he goes to school, and everybody in the school tells him there is a Santa Claus, that's counterintelligence. You understand? Right. You're putting out information contrary to what is true. It's counterintelligence. I'll give you another example of counterintelligence. You ever play Call of Duty?
Yeah.
You ever had the, yeah, you know what a UAV is?
Okay.
Have you ever used what is called a counter UAV?
Okay.
What does it do?
It blocks the radar of the actual UAV that tells you where everybody's at.
Why?
Because it's called a counter UAV.
Okay, so here's why that is counterintelligence. Intelligence is information.
Mm-hmm.
Information is defined as accurate data that you can use to make a decision. Counterintelligence is give you inaccurate information. Okay, when they first, I used to be a gamer. Used to be. I'm no longer a video gamer. I do not play video games. But in a past life, I played video games a lot. Call of Duty was one of the main ones I played. When they first brought out the counter UAV, it didn't glitch up the UAV. What it did was it showed dots all over the map where nobody was at. So you think there's somebody around the corner and ain't nobody there. You see what I'm saying? So you looking for the man this way, but the man really that way. And now he see you come around the corner shooting, and then he looking at you like, oh, there you go. Boom. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because what was happening was the counter UAV, that little map was intelligence. That's information that you need to be able to make an accurate decision so that you can map out how you're going to go about attacking these people so you can win. Well, now it's feeding your line of information with inaccurate information. You see what I'm saying? With inaccurate intelligence. So now it's counterintelligence. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like another form of counterintelligence, biblically we call it heresy. Heresy, by definition, is counterintelligence. Look up the definition of heresy, and then we're gonna end the class. We definitely running over. Look up the definition of heresy and read it real quick. So I can define heresy. Go ahead.
The definition of heresy:
read it loud.
Belief or opinion contrary to the Orthodox religion, especially Christian doctrine.
So here's the deal. Orthodox religion, which would be the truth,
right,
is intelligence. Counterintelligence would be to create something that looks like the truth that teaches something different. That is counterintelligence or heresy. So if it looked like an Israelite, but it don't teach what Israelites teach, it's counterintelligence. And it's more than likely COINTELPRO. So all you fake Israelite groups, congratulations. You in a counterintelligence program. And with that, we're going to pass the class over to Precinct Officer Cosmo. So I got to go up.
So ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, start at 1 West 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're here to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves a world. If they need transportation, a teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has the incident to a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months when a brother or sister will get permission to marry. Ties, which is the commandment numbers 18 to 21, and Malachi 3 and 8 through 10. It means 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you get to the Treasury Department. Priest fund, a free will offering for the priest, not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the memorial blowing of the trumpets, first day of the 7th month of Wednesday of October the 2nd of 2024. And read about this in Leviticus 23 and 24 through 25. Remind Aki and Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And shalom.